All right, we're going deep today. Let's talk about one of the biggest mysteries of life. What happens to us after we die? It's a question that has puzzled people for centuries. I mean, think about it. Death is something we all face, but we still have no concrete answer. Is it just lights out? Do we go somewhere else? Or do we come back for round 2 or 3 as someone or something else? From a scientific perspective, things are pretty straightforward. Once your heart stops and your brain shuts down, that's it. Your body starts breaking down, returning to the earth. End of story, right? Well, maybe. Because when we start talking about consciousness, that's where things get a bit tricky. Science doesn't really know what happens to the part of you that's aware, the thoughts, the emotions, the you behind the body. But what about all those spiritual and religious beliefs? Different cultures and religions have a lot to say about what happens after we die. Christianity talks about heaven and hell, a reward for the righteous, punishment for the wicked. Hinduism and Buddhism, they've got reincarnation, the idea that we come back in a new body, living another life. Sounds pretty wild, right? And let's not forget about near-death experiences. People who've been declared clinically dead and then brought back often talk about seeing bright lights, feeling at peace, or even meeting loved ones who've passed on. Are those glimpses of the afterlife or just our brains playing tricks in those final moments? It's hard to say, but it's fascinating to think about. Then there's the big question. What if death is just the end? This is what we call annihilationism, the idea that once we die, we cease to exist entirely. Now, for some people, that's a terrifying thought. For others, it's actually pretty peaceful. If death is truly the end, it might push us to make the most of every moment we have right now. Think about it. How would you live if you knew there was nothing after this life? Would you live with more urgency, more purpose? Or would it make you more at peace, knowing that every day matters because it's all we've got? So what do you think? Do you find comfort in the idea of an afterlife? Or are you okay with the thought that this life might be all there is? Whatever the answer, this question has a way of making us think deeply about what it means to live. Now let's break down some of the key terms from today's conversation. First up, consciousness. It's the part of you that's aware, your thoughts, feelings, and experiences. When we ask what happens after death, we're really asking what happens to our consciousness. Does it disappear or does it move on to something else? Then we've got reincarnation. This is the belief that after we die, our soul comes back in a new body. It's a key idea in Hinduism and Buddhism, and it's all about that cycle of birth, death, and rebirth. And finally, annihilationism. This is the idea that when we die, we simply cease to exist. No afterlife, no consciousness, just the end. It's a pretty stark concept, but for some, it offers a sense of closure. So what do you think? Do you believe in something after this life? Or does the idea of eternal rest sound more appealing? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. And hey, if this conversation got you thinking, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into life's big questions. Until next time, take care.